All right, let's talk about the Denver Broncos. Let's talk about their very, very young and very, very hungry depth chart. Obviously, a younger quarterback in Bo Nix, but it looks like there's a few veteran wide receivers around him, but you Munaf are concentrating on exactly what I was concentrating on because that running back situation there has a lot of question marks around it, in my opinion. And yeah, what jumped out at your for you about this running back room?
Yeah, so I mean, look, if we go back over the past couple of seasons, especially last year, a lot of question marks, or I should say, lack of production from the running back room, right? So it looks like it's going to be at least the one and two guys on the depth chart listed right now are going to be guys that they are going to heavily rely on. So that's J.K. Dobbins last season, I believe with the Chargers, had a great comeback season. And then the darling this season in fantasy community and drafts has been RJ Harvey. So this is going to be another fun battle to watch in the preseason. And it goes back to what we talked about, Rod, that the Sonic and Knuckles, right? Is this going to be the next version of that for the Denver Broncos? Because last season, for not having much of an established running game or a consistent guy, Bo Nix had an absolutely fantastic season for this team, right? 3,700 plus passing yards, 29 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Then you get to the running back room. Javonte Williams, not a great season. 3.7 yards per carry, 513 rushing yards, only 4 rushing touchdowns. Now, collectively, as a running back room, they did have 12 rushing touchdowns, but you didn't have a single guy that was above 600 or more rushing yards. Does that change this season? I think it does. And also, it kind of goes back to what I mentioned with Patrick Mahomes, just a comparison that Bo Nix is entering his sophomore year, that you're going to expect some type of slump for him. Now that teams have game tape on him and things like that. So what you want to do is you want to rely on your running back room there. So um, as much as I want to, I love a good comeback story with J.K. Dobbins, especially what he was able to do last season. Rod, I mean, with the injuries that he dealt with over the past several seasons, he was a close thousand rushing yard leader for this for this Chargers team. He had 905 rushing yards for the Chargers in just 13 games, 4.6 yards per carry for the LA Chargers there. So I will probably go with RJ Harvey. I think he starts as RB1 for this Chargers team. And then I think that, if J.K. Dobbins is able to stay healthy, number one, which has been a big question mark, I think we'll see a 1A and 1B type of situation. But at least for red drafting right now, I am on the RJ Harvey train.
And that's the thing about it too. When you have two, and we talked about this in I can't remember which backfield we were talking about, but you have 2,000-yard capable rushers in the same backfield. How do you approach that? I mean, it's a matter of any guy that you hand that ball off to is capable of getting you the production that you need to be good overall. And so we've seen it out of J.K. Dobbins out of his career, right? Like you said, we saw it last season, almost 1,000 yards for the Chargers, and there's really no tread that's off of him because he's still a relatively young running back. And at Baltimore, I don't feel like he got his just dessert, right? Because Baltimore had that triple option offense out there that you had Lamar Jackson running the ball, you had J.K. Dobbins, you had Gus Edwards was back in that same backfield as well. So you really didn't get a whole lot of looks at what J.K. Dobbins could be if he was that guy. You saw it quite a bit in L.A., but now all of a sudden, here he goes to a backfield where they're already anointing the rookie as the guy that's going to take over the backfield immediately. And you saw, like you said, last year, not a lot of big splashy names in Denver, but the production was there. So, it's frustrating because I don't know that I want to draft either one of these guys
Sure.
because I feel like if I take a chance on one, the other's going to be the one that pops.
Yeah.
Because you watch RJ Harvey get out there, and maybe it takes a while for him to learn, right? Maybe he can't necessarily pick up blocking, which is a big thing, right? If you're going to be an every down back, you got to learn how to block in
That's
the
true.
passing game,
Yeah. Great
and
point.
you got to do all that stuff. So J.K. Dobbins already there, already known commodity. So I would almost stay away from this backfield, but I have a soft spot for J.K. Dobbins, so I would go after him because right now RJ Harvey going off as overall 53. So he's going in like the fourth round, 25 overall running back in standard. J.K. Dobbins, on the other hand, is going very late, 116 for him and running back 35 off the board. So do you feel like you're getting the same running back if you wait a couple of rounds and take J.K. Dobbins versus Harvey?
Yeah, and I was just looking at the preseason numbers, or at least in the first game against the Niners last week. RJ Harvey, 7 carries, 25 rushing yards, 3.6 yards per carry. He had a long of 11. It almost feels like that there is going to be some type of statement, or at least an emphasis, I should say, for better words, on the running game this season, because between the guys that played last week, and if you don't want to include the quarterbacks, there was 27 rush attempts in that game by various running backs for the Denver Broncos, that there could be some type of emphasis there. And Bo Nix was out there maybe for 2 series, 6 of 11, 31 yards. So, yeah, again, it's just, again, for these type of battles, we want to keep our eye on during the preseason because, again, J.K. Dobbins didn't play last week. I'm not sure if that changes this week for him or not, but we'll keep an eye on that for sure.